1,
2,
3, let's go!
For a long time now, I've wanted to venture south, but never really had the chance to. When I was working as a rock climbing instructor, tourists would always come up to me and tell me just how beautiful it was. So, after kind of a rough year, I've decided to give it a go. My next door neighbour was selling his 1995 Honda CR-V for $1,000, and I took that as a sign from the universe and bought it. Now, if you don't know already, New Zealand is made up of 2 main islands. So step 1 is getting the car across the Cook Strait. So at 5 AM in the morning, we finished packing the car and said goodbye to the North Island. The Blue Bridge Ferry is one of 2 main ferries and the cheapest one we could find. Per person, it's about 60 New Zealand dollars to cross, and for the car, it's around 120 New Zealand dollars. I also recommend popping a couple of sea leg tablets before you go, because it's a 3.5-hour ride and the Cook Strait is famous for its fast changing weather. Once you're on, there's a good cafe on the top deck and a cinema on the bottom deck. And plenty of places to sit back and enjoy the ride, even if the weather isn't amazing. Once you're on the other side, the ferry arrives in the sleepy town of Picton. Population 4,000. It's cute on a good day, but on a bad day, it's a ghost town. If you're into skateboarding, however, it's worth checking out one of my favourite shops in New Zealand, the Paper Rain Project. These cool cats take ethically sourced wood and upcycle it to make wicked board designs. They also have their own range of art and fashion products, all ethically made. Now, instead of heading straight down south, me and Tay decided to head 2 hours west to the city of Nelson, because every winter Nelson puts on the Lights at Night show. The Nelsonlight Festival is a huge open gallery spread out across the city. The festival itself runs over 4 nights and every year brings in crowds of over 40,000. The main drive and focus behind the festival is collaboration and communication through art, and I love that. After walking up and down the city for about 3 hours and definitely getting in my 10,000 steps a day, it was time to hit the hay, because tomorrow we make the long trip down to Kaikoura. After a little sleep-in, it was time to hit the road again for a 3.5-hour journey south to Kaikoura. I've travelled this road before, but not since the earthquake, so we wanted to hit the road early because we didn't know which roads were still closed. The Kaikoura earthquake was a magnitude 7.8, and the first wave lasted over 2 minutes. It was so large that it shattered windows and cracked roads as far north as Napier, and was even felt at the top of the North Island. Wellington City and other low-lying areas were all evacuated for fear of tsunami, and myself and Tay even packed the car just in case we had to make a quick escape. One of the casualties of the earthquake was the Ohau Seal Nursery, a natural waterfall where mother seals have been bringing their pups to raise them in the safety of the rock pools since before humans arrived in New Zealand. Luckily though, I was able to capture this magical place on film about a year before the earthquake. Thanks to hundreds of workers since the earthquake, the nursery is almost back to its original form. Now when it comes to accommodation, I'm not picky at all. So long as all my gear is safe and there's a bed, that's good enough for me. I'll always spend money on experiences over accommodation, but if you can combine the two, well, that's even better. Wacky Stays in Kaikoura is a very cool little patch of land about 9 minutes from the city centre. The gypsy house truck that we're staying in is about $159 per night, but it comes with everything you'd possibly need. It has a toilet and a shower, both of which are a tight squeeze, but the owners have gone to extraordinary lengths to make sure we feel at home, even providing eggs, bread and milk before we got inside. And the truck even has a TV, Wi-Fi, a drawer full of slippers and a kitchen. There's a communal kitchen / eating area outside for all of the guests to use. But as we were the only ones there, we just used the truck. This is where I'm sleeping tonight. It's a little house truck thing. There's a seat here, the laptop goes there, bed. Look, I got a fireplace that you can't see. This little secret stove thing, and the old-fashioned water thingy. Not that old-fashioned if my mum's watching this, pretty normal, but sink and stuff. This is just there. Through that door, there is a tiny itty-bitty shower and a little itty-bitty toilet as well, which, you know, they're itty-bitty, but it's pretty cool. Also, we can't see if I do that, but through there is where the driver sits. If there were a driver. Hopefully there's not a driver, or I'll wake up in another place, like in that movie Wolf Creek. Yeah, I really hope that doesn't happen. I could die, but I'd die in luxury. It's nice here. I want to live in a house truck. I can already hear Taylor saying no. After a cup of tea and some of my 5-star cooking, me and Tay snuggled up with a movie and some treats because tomorrow we're hoping to head out on the water with my buddy Connor to check out some dolphins. Would I stay here again? You bet your ass I would. But I'd also like to stay in the train carriage. Or maybe the caravan. Oh, and there's a yurt. I definitely want to stay in the yurt. Maybe next time.